Welcome to the SEGA Lounge, where we celebrate our love for all things Sega, including the games, the music, and the community. I'm your host, KC. Join me as I talk to different guests and learn more about their projects and passion for Sega. Hello, loungers. Welcome to the SEGA Lounge. Hello, we're back after a while. My name's KC, and I'm joined this fine evening by three lovely people. Three lovely banana-loving people. Yeah, exactly. So, to my right, I'm actually pointing to my left, but I know it's my right. It's Lime Reversed. Hello, Lime.
Hello. It's me.
How's it going?
I'm the problem. It's going good.
Slime Swift.
How are you going?
I'm doing great. Happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. We also have the wonderful SkillJim. With a very nice topical T-shirt.
Of course, and a very cheesy prop.
You win! Go!
For the audio listeners.
Yeah, for the audio listeners. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, how are you doing? Doing great?
Yeah, doing grand. Thank you. Yeah,
grand. Okay, nice. Because that's the only option if you're here. Yeah, you have to be doing grand. Yeah, obviously. And also the amazing, the wonderful Green Viper 8. Hello, Viper.
Hello there.
Make some noise for Hatsune Miku. Really? I love Hatsune Miku.
No.
Don't say that. Doing well?
Well, I have no other option but to say yes,
Excellent.
clearly, as already established. So, never been better.
Doing well or else, right? Yeah. I'm such a welcoming host. So thank you for joining me, guys, for this Monkey Ball themed episode of the show. First of all, though, let me apologize to the listeners for the lack of shows for the past few weeks. I warned everyone that it was going to happen, but still, I try to minimize the gap between episodes, but it wasn't really easy. Things were a little bit hectic at work, but now I think we're back on track. So we have at least 3 or 4 weeks of content locked in, I hope. So that's nice. Join us always on the SegaLounge.com to check that out for all the previous episodes. If you missed anything, the previous one was actually a very short one dedicated to my story, my Sega story, but with handhelds, more specifically the GBA and the PSP. And on that note, by the way, I'm working on a special episode about Sega games on the GBA with a very special guest. So do tune in for that soon, TM. But that's it. So, but that's not the point of the show this week. We're here to talk about Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. Banana Ramble. Yeah, we're here to ramble about Banana Rumble.
Saved it.
There we go. Also, big shout out to people joining us on Radio Sega, on Twitch, on YouTube, wherever you are. Thank you for watching / listening, and to our podcast listeners, which are the majority of you listening in. Thank you for that. So we actually played the game together this Monday, which was fun. It was fun. Fun.
Super fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yes. It was fun. So we I think all of us, or at least most of us, wanted to try out the multiplayer with friends, which was something that we hadn't done before. I think, at least I hadn't.
No.
Yeah. So Monday was the first time. I had played the game with random people, but it's mostly bots. So yeah. But we tried that, and so we're gonna share our thoughts on the game in its entirety. everything that we've experienced about the game. But I wanted to start with our previous experiences with the series. Super Monkey Ball is obviously an arcade original, right? Back in the day. And then for people who are not familiar with the arcade scene, most of the players obviously know it from the GameCube days. Super Monkey Ball was the version. I believe the Monkey Ball arcade had a banana joystick, like a banana controller, right? Am I correct?
Hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'd like exactly. So you could just if you were,
Demonstrate.
it was actually a real banana. So people had to. It was a BYOB game. Bring your own banana game. So we had a slot to insert the banana, and you had to control. No.
That would be funny.
Some people might believe me, so I have to be careful. No, it's
You're a
not real.
liar, Casey. You're such a liar.
Always. No one should ever believe me. And but Super Monkey Ball, for most people, I believe, started on the GameCube. I think most people played that series first on that platform. So I wanted to talk to you guys. Tell me how or what were your first experiences with Super Monkey Ball? How did you start playing it? Is this your first game? Maybe it is. Let's start. I think we should start with Viper, like the senior monkey baller in the room, I believe. Senior, yeah. So tell us, please.
So I started with Deluxe on the original Xbox. I just happened to find it one day at a car boot. I'd already known of the game a little bit because of it got quite popular in like Twitch communities at the time, like early 2010s, mid 2010s. So I'd seen and known the game, and it looked like this really fun arcadey game that really encouraged you to get better and keep on playing the game. And I've always liked that sort of thing. It can feel a little intimidating to get into sometimes, but having it pretty much handed to me for like £5 when I had nothing else to play at the time was just an instant way straight in. Immediately loved the game. I think the next one I would have played would have been 3D on the 3DS, and then afterwards just kept going back to whatever I could grab. Some good, some not so good. So Banana Rumble's been a bit of a refreshing taste in comparison to some of those. But otherwise, I followed it since the quote-unquote beginning, but otherwise very late into the series for the most part, during the downtime between the series dying off and it coming back again as it's done recently.
Yeah. Excellent. Do you have a favorite? Now that you've played Banana Rumble?
It's definitely Banana Rumble and arguably still Deluxe as well, because Banana Rumble is probably the most inspiring. It shows there's going to be some good games going forward, but Deluxe as well is just a combination of the best of Monkey Ball, or at least the best of what it was once upon a time, all in one package. Having both 1, 2, and levels from the scrapped version of 3 all on one disc is a really enticing offer.
Yeah, for sure. Fine, awesome. What about you, James?
Yeah, pretty much agree with everything that Viper's just said there about, in terms of Banana Rumble and the OG Deluxe. That is where I started on the Xbox. I obviously went original Xbox after Dreamcast and supported Sega, whatever, the Jet Set Radio Futures, Crazy Taxi 3, Gun Valkyrie, just any little random game that Sega made that appeared on the Xbox I picked up, and Super Monkey Ball Deluxe obviously was one of them. I didn't realise, actually, or I'd forgotten until Viper's just mentioned, that it comprised 1 and 2. And some extra levels. That's cool. Okay. That's probably why I liked it so much. It's had a lot of content, and it arguably had the best party games that I remember playing with my friends, like Super Monkey Ball Golf or whatever it was called, and I had a lot of fun, especially with the one that's like a big steep hill into it and you fire off the end, or am I thinking of Crazy Taxi?
Monkey Target, right?
This one, right?
Monkey Target,
yeah. Yeah, so just looking at the list, I definitely had Deluxe first, and then for some reason I do own 1 and 2 on GameCube, so whether or not I didn't realise that they were different games or not.
This is the list, by the way, for people watching the video version. Yeah, thank you, James, for sharing this.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And then recently I played Monkey Ball Arcade with Scott when he came over from Australia and went to Arcade Club in Manchester. That was the first time I'd seen that cabinet actually with the monkey joystick, the banana joystick. So that was quite amusing. I don't know if it's because it's old or that didn't actually control the best. I don't know, but it was quite difficult to control. And then just over the years, I had a full Engage collection at one point, so I did have the Monkey Ball game on that. Unplayable, to be honest.
That's a
I
deep
don't know.
cut.
I just that is a deep cut, but I did pick up an entire Engage set off eBay once. Excited to play like the Sega exclusives on it, like Sega Rally and stuff, and then actually when I actually looked at the size of the screen, trying to play these PlayStation S games, I was like, this is like an unplayable device for me personally. And then I picked up the DS game, which is like touch and roll, I think. Both of the Wii games, but I honestly don't have any memory of them at all, so I couldn't go into detail in those ones. And
was it Step and Roll that had that used the balance board?
It used the balance board, yeah. Interesting.
The name kind of gives it away a little.
Yeah, I was looking at it. Step and Roll.
I feel like
probably.
when it came out, a lot of people were like saying that the control system for that wasn't the best. But I suppose it's a cool, quirky concept. I can't remember.
Did you have to
bygones?
I'm thinking it's obvious that you had, but did you have to like put pressure on the on the balance board to make the ball roll, the monkey roll?
Yeah. So
you kind of lean forward like MJ style. To move forward.
Fall over.
Like put too much pressure on it.
Fell into your TV, smashed your TV set.
That's awesome. That's a very good reference there. You lean over MJ style, yes. So that should be the slogan for the balance board. Any game with the balance board, you lean over MJ style.
Don't forget you can't jump as well.
We should have made a Michael Jackson game now where that was one of the control mechanisms.
Good point.
Would have been cool, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Nintendo,
and then
hit us
I
up
only just
for more
realised again, and well, I probably knew at the time, but Banana Blitz HD. I only just realised that is a remake or a remaster of the first Wii game. So this is how my memory of the Monkey Ball series is. I remember the deluxe as my favourite, but everything else in between, I literally cannot think what was different. If I enjoyed it or not. Banana Mania, I did enjoy at the time. I know that's more recent, but I definitely do think that Banana Rumble feels more like a complete package, and we're going to get into it a lot more, and I'm interested to hear like other people's thoughts on it. But I do think it's arguably maybe the second best game in the series.
Okay.
Looks
high praise. High praise. Okay. Very good. Or maybe not, depending on how you see the whole series, the series as a whole. Okay.
9.
Lime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think our experiences are similar. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I see.
Oh, should I show the list again? Maybe it's helpful.
Well, my experience prior to Banana Rumble is from the GameCube era. Some friends and I wanted to have a gaming tournament, and so we could each pick a game that we wanted to challenge the other people in. I chose Sonic Adventure 2. There are some multiplayer battle things there, and another one picked Super Monkey Ball game on GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first time playing it, and it was a lot of fun. It was also my only experience up until now, so I don't have a lot of history with Super Monkey Ball, except for that. I've always known what it is, but never actually picked it up. But now I did, and I'm happy I did, because I'm having loads of fun with it.
I know. I can tell. You're like challenging yourself. That's nice.
You've seen some videos that I uploaded. Yeah.
He's slowly
Awesome.
I'm
becoming a
so
speedrunner.
proud.
Like,
I'm so proud of some of those shots. That's I'm happy with. Yeah.
Awesome. So my experience is not exactly similar because I never played the original, not the original, but the GameCube games up until very recently through emulation. So back in the day, I missed that mostly because I had a GameCube at one point, and I picked up some of the Sega games for it late into the GameCube life cycle. Probably when the Wii was already out, I think I picked up a GameCube, and but I looked at Super Monkey Ball, and it's not a puzzle game, but it's like a more like puzzly game in a way, and I'm not really that good at those. Not that I'm great at the other types of games, but puzzle games are probably more challenging. And as I grow older, I have less and less patience and time. So I usually don't consider investing my time and money in those types of games. So I dismissed the Super Monkey Ball series as a whole. So up until probably the iOS games. So the iOS games, I think, were the first ones that I actually played properly. And I do remember Super Monkey Ball 2 Sakura Edition being the one that I played the most. And, whatever that means for a mobile game, I never played those for like a long, long time. But I remember playing that for a few weeks and enjoying myself. But it was a little bit tricky to... I don't remember if you had like a virtual D-pad or if you had to use motion controls. I don't think you had motion controls.
I think you did.
Or maybe you could pick, yeah?
Maybe.
Or swipe controls.
Like gyro.
Was it the gyro? Can't remember, to be honest. So that says a lot
I can't remember.
about both my memory and probably the game as well. But I think it was fun. I think Jamie in chat is also saying gyro controls. So yeah, probably that's the case. So if you and Viper remember that, it's probably true. And then I remember picking up, what was the one of the DS games?
Touch and Roll, that one.
Was it
that
Touch
was with
and
the
Roll?
stylus, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah. Which was a little bit weird. I remember picking that up at some point. And then I went on a hiatus with the series itself as well. And the first one that I actually properly played was Banana Blitz HD when it came out. And then Banana Mania. Definitely enjoyed Banana Mania much more than Banana Blitz HD. And now Banana Rumble. So, and I went back and played Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2 on my Steam Deck through emulation recently. And I actually have a question for you guys that played the original ones. So I think all of you. No, James, you played the Xbox one, right? Not the GameCube version.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Same as Viper, the deluxe one, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
Sure.
don't even remember exactly what version I played, and if
If
it was
it was
the
GameCube,
original. I've only
it was
played it in the
GameCube.
most technical sense.
Okay.
It was like
played
one
it.
day, one multiplayer tournament. Like it technically counts, but
No, I had a question because I was reading about this the other day, that the analog stick on the GameCube had like an octagonal shape, like a mold around it, right? So it had an octagonal housing, so it was easier to control the game with that specific analog stick. Is that true, or is it a myth?
Yeah,
it
that's
makes
true,
sense in my head.
definitely.
Yeah.
For some people, it's not as bad as others, but it's definitely like helpful for sure on some stages where you have to go like straight forward on a thin wire or something. So
Yeah.
it's definitely handy.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be.
I guess starting with the Xbox version, that was just the control system, so I didn't think like, oh, I need a hexagonal controller to play this game. It just felt right to me. So
Is it hexagonal? Maybe one.
I think
did
it's
you say? Oh,
octagonal.
sorry.
No, it's octagonal.
Octa-
Yes, it's 8. It's
octagonal.
8 directions. Yes.
Just making
So-
words up.
But yeah, just a thing that makes sense in my head, but probably was a real thing. Okay,
Which was
so
the one that RGG
Yeah.
Studios worked on? Was that Mania?
It's all 3 of the new ones.
Oh, is it?
I mean, you got the box there. You can see. I think their name's on the back.
yeah, the
there's no
vest-
logo.
they
be down here?
probably
I
I don't
feel
know
like I
if
saw it on the
they're
back of
probably
one of the
credited
boxes.
somewhere, but
Why is it not? Sorry, it's not very
okay.
focusy,
Fair
but
enough.
maybe not. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But I'm pretty sure
mean,
they did still develop it.
they're not
I hadn't heard for this, but
they're not credited as the developers, but probably they worked on it
didn't
like
want to focus, did it?
in
Then?
some capacity. Yeah. Okay, so we've established that we're very experienced in terms of monkey ball.
And knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable, sure. So let's get into the game itself. So for people listening to us and wondering, is this a worthwhile game or not? Let's start with that, like general thoughts on the game. I think we've all said that we've enjoyed the game more than previous ones, than the most recent ones. Someone said it's the second best. Someone said it's probably on par with the best. So, yeah. So I think that
Someone
pretty
said
much, pretty much sums up our thoughts. But I'd like to hear from you guys. Would you recommend people play this game, and why? In like a more like broader sense, and then we can get into specifics, or we can get into specifics right now. Whatever works for you. So
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah.
being for me, I would seriously recommend it because even it depends what kind of game that you're looking for. Like you said the other day, Casey, like they kind of advertised it as a multiplayer game, and it is very much so, especially like the online component. But for me, even though we had a lot of fun, that isn't specifically the mode in the game that I would rush back to play again. In fact, for me, the single player, if you've played a Monkey Ball game in the past, specifically like 1, 2, or Deluxe, like we mentioned, I think the single player component of Rumble is actually on par with those games in terms of the stage design, level design, the amount of content in there. I'm not sure. Maybe they've always had like 200 stages in each of the games, but for me, Rumble, when I went through each of the worlds and completed, because there's like 10 worlds with 10 stages, I didn't realize that you unlocked the sort of hard mode, and then I was thinking, oh, it's just going to be the same stages again, but something slightly more difficult about them. But actually, all unique stages, so you've got like another set of seemingly another 100. I've not got through them yet, so I don't know if anyone else can say that there's definitely is 200 unique stages. But in terms of content, I think the single player definitely shines more so than the multiplayer. Even though multiplayer is very fun and very playable, especially, you know, like we all played it the other night online using the Switch over Wi-Fi or whatever, and for me, there wasn't much lag or anything like that. I know Viper mentioned there was a little bit of like framiness, I guess, but in terms of being able to play competitively together, I think it worked beautifully. It's just for me, those game modes in the online component aren't as great as, you know, some of the party mode games were in the past. And in fact, I even said to you guys, like, it'd be so good if those modes were actually in this and we could all, like, you know, play Monkey Golf, Monkey Target, those type of original games, Monkey Billiards, whatever it was, online. I think that would have made this package very special. And I know it's great that they've come up with new game modes and new party games in a sense. Hopefully,
for people listening and wondering why Viper's laughing, there will be a lot of fallouts in this video. By the way, if you're watching the video version, you can enjoy myself playing through the game and trying to get like and getting
That's
this message.
annoying.
Would you like to try the helper functions? and saying
I
no.
hate that helper
Maybe
function. I
yours?
wish that. I don't know if that. I never looked in the options to see if you could disable it, but the amount of times I've clicked yes.
You can this time.
Oh, okay.
You can. Okay. I was going to criticize that without.
You can
looking,
actually
but
turn
yeah.
it off.
Okay.
Oh, the
That was
replay.
one of the
or-
biggest complaints that
Because
I had
after
about
like
Banana
4 or
Mania.
5 try, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to restart the game to get a better time sometimes, and after 4 or 5 failed attempts, I get that message. Would you like to turn on helper functions?
Oh yeah.
Which
You
is-
can
The
turn
amount of
that
times
off.
I've accidentally pressed it,
Yeah.
and then you have to back out of
When
the
you-
menu because you don't want to like lose. I think you lose points or whatever. You don't earn anything actually from doing the stage, but
Yeah. That's it.
The two of
I
the
don't know what
first
I'm
things
trying
that I
here, by the
turned off
way.
was the instant replay, like when you failed, and the help thingy that popped up all the time.
This gameplay is distracting because I'm distracting myself watching myself play. Okay.
it sort of shows like this is a game of trial and error, isn't it? So you're expected
sure.
to fail 4 times, so that kind of a message is going to be annoying if you don't realize, like me, that you can turn it off.
I mean, this is what I realized is for me the most fun part of the game. Like you get to try to just one shot the whole thing, or like get through it like very fast, or in a very, for lack of word, stylish way. It's so much fun to just try to get those beauty shots, if that makes sense. It's so much fun. I don't know what to call it. What would you call it? I am struggling for words here.
For lack of a better word,
Pro
trick shot,
shots.
but that just sounds sounds so grimy.
Sorry, a beauty shot. That's what I said.
Yeah,
let's go.
yeah,
with
we'll go with beauty shot.
Yeah, beauty
shot
shot
works.
Yeah,
but it looks beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's like it does look exactly what you've seen in the video. Just retry until you get that amazing run of it, and it's absolutely worth it. There are several of these that I've not done properly ever, because I just instantly went like, oh, maybe I can do this, and then I just started trying.
There are some that I
That's like
give up. Like I see, no, I will never be able. I'll just complete it like the least creative and boring way, the most boring way, and I'll never go back because I will never. But there are some like this one that you can tell that if you try it just a little bit harder, you can get there in the end. And I will eventually, by the way, I will eventually one-shot this. But there we go. See?
There we go. Congrats.
Yeah, you can do it. But it is the beauty of Monkey Ball. Yeah, and something that going back to an earlier point in our conversation, something that I didn't appreciate when I was younger, probably. I said I lack the patience these days, but maybe I'm a little bit more patient in some ways than before. I wasn't really because the beauty of this game and the series is to like retry, try to improve your times, try to get those like trick shots or something to beauty shots exactly, and you have to be able to appreciate that.
I mean, that kind of gameplay is not for everyone. I know it's depends on the type of player you are. I remember back in the day when I used to play like Tony Hawk's and Tony Hawk's 2. You get like a minute to clear the stage and do all the things and tricks and get the points and stuff. And there's a lot of like trial and error and restart. And if you like that type of game, Monkey Ball literally is that. You're expected to keep trying. And even just on your first try of any stage, you're probably not going to get it on your first try. Or I'd be very impressed if anyone's got through every single level without falling off once. I think it's expected to fall off loads of times and try and work out the best path or how to get all the bananas, or I don't know if it was a thing in the previous games, but getting the golden banana and finishing the stage, or trying to do all 3 of the challenges, which is like collect a certain amount of bananas, the golden banana, and finish in a quick time. I know you can do them separately, but hey, I bet there's someone out there that probably wants to try and do all 3,
Yeah.
and chalk them all off in one attempt, which, is what makes Super Monkey Ball as a game fun. That trial and error aspect. And, like Lime hasn't really played the game much previously. And then he's getting like hyped, or I could tell that he's getting hyped when he's doing these crazy bouncing off the side of a curb and flying into the goal. And, it takes him
so
like
much fun.
2 seconds. Yeah.
And
Question:
that's
What do
sorry. No,
what
please,
do
please.
the bananas do? Like, why do you collect them?
Eat.
eat
I've
them.
just
Monkeys.
I've never
Some
really
fruits.
bothered to do that. I was just trying to get through the stage,
No, you
but
can
I
peel
figured they
them
are
and-
there gameplay wise for a reason.
Oh, right. Like the actual aspect of a banana in the game. Yeah. you
I'm not
collect
asking
them.
why they are bananas. I'm asking like what happens when you collect them.
I
Well,
think
there's a challenge to like collecting a certain amount
Is it?
when you
Isn't
finish
it
the
like
stage.
Okay.
rings? It's just like
Yeah, they are rings with Sonic. So yeah,
Yeah,
but like,
just-
do I get anything for trying to collect them all in one stage, or like what's the deal here?
I don't think you get anything for doing them all. You get a score multiplier to your
your
well, 'cause
points.
you're not really
are
focused on
like,
a stage score, but you're kind of looking for a what's the word? The in-game shop.
in-game
It
currency.
counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it counts. You
Mm.
don't specifically have bananas for that, but it tallies up towards your like points count for the shop. In previous games, it was part of the life system. It was like 20 for an extra life, but obviously that's now gone.
Mhm.
Thankfully, that's another thing that makes it so addictive is having those infinite tries now. But yeah, I think in this game they're a little more redundant, which is why they gave them those collect a certain amount to get the mission in the stage or whatever. But generally, it's indirectly contributing towards your shop points.
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay.
It's one of the challenges,
like-
but there's no challenge for collecting all the bananas in a stage. I don't
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
But
Right.
before there was
like
one of the
was,
challenges. I
right?
think. I think so. In previous games, I do remember
Yeah.
that.
I think Banana Mania
I think
specifically
Banana
had like a
Mania had
load more
that.
challenges per stage, and I think they scaled that back, which was probably way more sensible in this game. As I seem to recall on launch, before the game came out, some of those challenges were actually impossible to complete. So they made sure it wasn't every banana this time or what have you.
Yeah.
You know? Which I think is probably a good thing. Makes them a little more, a little
So-
quick to complete, therefore a bit more
Uh-huh.
addictive to get each one.
Yeah.
So
For
probably
sure.
a good thing in the end.
Gameplay.
Yeah. You can also play as Sonic. And fall as Sonic as well.
Is that the reason Lime bought the game, or
Of course, I want Tails though. When is Tails released?
That's
Oh,
the
it
question.
is-
I keep checking the shop. But it keeps saying March 31st next year.
yeah, so we spoke about this on Monday, and I said the shop had actually been updated to the 30th of July. Well, in a twist move, they've actually changed it back to March. So
Okay.
I don't know what's
Wow.
going on there. Who knows?
Maybe they
Sega
didn't
works in
want to
mysterious ways.
spoil.
We're getting Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble Deluxe for the Switch 2, for sure. On that date. I don't know. I going back
happen.
to what Lime said, or what James said before, of like Lime getting excited and sharing his videos, and I think that's also part of the beauty of this. I'm getting more excited about this because of Lime's excitement. So having people that you know enjoy and love the game, definitely, it's like infectious in a good way, right? So you want to. I want to have that joy as well. So when I see Lime sharing videos, I think, okay, let me just pick up my Switch real quick and try to beat one of two of these levels and try to do something with this. And like do
That's
one
the
of those
thing. Like,
beauty
I
shots.
don't tend to play like that. I tend to like take my time through the stage, and seeing Lime sort
Yeah.
of ping off a wall and go through the goal in like 3 seconds. It's kind of makes me want to try that myself.
Right? Yeah, for sure. I usually do that as
a
well.
lot of-
I just want to complete the stage, and it's okay. I complete it. I don't care about the challenges, but seeing Lime doing it makes me want to try it as well.
You're all so sweet. It makes me so happy when you say this.
Influencer.
Yeah, Lime the influencer.
Need,
Yeah.
Need to get back Twitter. Be posting some absolute scorchers. Unfortunately, they're just on my Switch instead. I'm stealing all the spotlight here.
But yeah. Please upload if you have stuff. Please upload your stuff. I want to see your stuff.
Yeah.
I'll have to post them on wherever.
You can't post directly to Twitter now anymore, right? That's
Oh, they deleted that, didn't they?
I think so. I heard about that.
Yeah, I need to
So-
get the videos from first of all, for some reason they are not, as far as I know, saved. When you just save replay, like I don't know how to get them from there. So what I did is to replay them and then hold the button that then saves a video, and then connect my Switch
Yeah.
to my computer and get that. That's what
Okay.
I've done.
A lot of hoops.
Yeah, or you can do what I did here with and just record yourself playing.
Yeah, you can do that indeed.
And not make any cuts to the footage.
No, don't do that. No, that's not what I did. This was like a whole gameplay from beginning to end. Yeah. Yeah, Jamie's saying, I think all platform holders no longer let you directly post to X. Yeah, so probably that's it. It's because of X and not probably because of the platform holders. Yeah. Yeah, the rules changed. Boo. Boo
indeed.
Musk. But I think that
Bring back
covers it
Twitter.
for our general thoughts about the game. So I completely agree with everything that you guys said. It's a really fun game, and it's more fun if, like we said, we have people we know playing at the same time, and we can, influence each other to play and try these challenges. It's fun. However, let's just try to separate the two modes a little bit. So James said something that I agree with, and we'll get into that when we talk about the multiplayer mode. They seem to be focusing a lot on the multiplayer mode with the advertising when they announced it. Even the name, the Banana Rumble part, makes you think of like Rumble, like rumbling,
Rumble.
fighting. Maybe, I don't know. But it's
bananas, stomach,
could be.
all that.
Okay,
Maybe.
but
Banana.
maybe.
My eyes hungry. Okay.
But it seems like the single player mode is where it's at, right? It's the meat of the game is in single player mode, and there's a new move as well, the spin dash move. So gone is the jump. Monkey
was a
Ball
jump.
purists rejoice. There was a jump move in the most recent games, right? And people who were big fans of the original games disliked it very much because it fundamentally changed the way you played the game, right?
Well, you can still jump.
That's the
In
fun,
the game.
right?
That's different.
I've
That's
shown
different. Yeah.
That's why
It's
people
very
complain
different
about the jump button, because you don't have to do any of the cool trick shots that Lime's doing. So
Exactly.
that's half the fun of it.
Right. So I'll start with maybe you two, James and Viper, who played the originals or at least deluxe more than us. How are you enjoying this when compared to the original games, the single player mode?
Yeah, personally, I'm enjoying it a lot more because I guess because it is grounded, so it does feel very much like the original. Where I just, like I just said a minute ago, I just like to take my time through the stages and try and work out how to get to the goal. Basically, whether or not I collect enough bananas doesn't particularly matter as long as I get to the goal. Some of the stages are quite unique and difficult, especially towards the end of Worlds of Rumble. There was one stage called Tornado that I must have spent about an hour just trying to get through it. I wasn't fussed about the bananas or the gold bananas. It was just literally just how to get to that goal, and it was still a lot of fun, even though it took so long. It was a lot of fun, and I do feel like those stages from Banana Rumble reminded me more of the Monkey Ball that I played when it first released. That you start off and you have to sort of navigate around the path, sort of like a Marble Madness kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, even though there is the spin dash gimmick, it feels like there's less gimmicky about it. It's more about the track and navigating through the track to the finish. So that's sort of, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the question was.
Yeah, I was asking how you compare this to the original games, right? The ones, or the deluxe
So yeah, I would
version
say
of the
it
original
feels
games.
a lot more like the original
Mhm.
and very much less gimmicky. That they
Okay.
were sort of trying to refresh the formula over the time. You know, we talk about the balance board and the touch and aspect. You know, gyro controls, trying to sort of like do stuff with the game that perhaps it didn't need. Whereas like the fundamentals of Super Monkey Ball is actually where it shines. This
Yeah.
ticks the box for me.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. What about you, Viper?
So this is just about the single player stuff, right? We're
Yeah,
leaving
yeah.
multiplayer till a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, definitely echoing what SkillJim said. There's like this era where Monkey Ball got a bit lost. I still find some enjoyment from the games, but we've mentioned, you know, the touching, the gyro, all this. So you have to obviously accommodate for that through like level design and through scope of the size of the stages and everything. And for a while, after when they returned, they're remaking old games, so you're kind of retreading old ground. You're always going to be going up against something another team effectively made, right? And you're vying for people's hearts with these like nostalgic memories and everything. So this has really been their first time to reset and show what they can do on their own. And gone, because this is a game, you know, controlled with a joystick. I think there is a gyro mode, but it's controlled like how the originals were again. So you're back into the sort of level design and puzzle solving and trick shotting that the originals had for the first time, excluding these remakes, since like what, 2011, 2012 maybe. So it's way more grounded. It's a lot more structured, but still very pick up and play. It doesn't fall too much into the trap of being too gimmicky. It's just the right balance of um, you know, interesting level design to switch it up every now and then, but still just grounded in its basic rolling around the stage. You know, it doesn't feel the need to insert a bunch of wacky level geometry in there, if that makes any sense, like some games do. It's just, it strikes the right balance. I think that's the key with it. You had Banana Blitz, which had its whole own problems, and Banana Mania, which, being a remake of Deluxe, a lot of people felt it didn't live up to Deluxe. But now, here you go. You got the first time with all this new content, so it's not retreading that old ground. It's a new game to enjoy, and you can look at it through a new game lens rather than it being a shadow of something it's not. And it's great. I love it. Really happy with how it's come out, and just want to see more of it, honestly. Especially given this one's been so multiplayer focused. I hope they look at it and realize, okay, multiplayer's always been a big part of Monkey Ball, but people really love these replayable single player experiences. So let's put more back into this next time, if that makes any sort of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Just to pick up a point
Yeah,
from what Viper's saying there, I think the trailers and the overall impressions I was getting from it when it first got announced, like this heavy emphasis on the multiplayer, I wasn't actually excited for it. I only really pre-ordered it because I know Casey was talking about it and that we were going to sort of do a show on it. So I thought, well, I'll pick it up, and you know, I should really, because I'm a Monkey Ball fan. It's only really when I've actually started playing it and got into the single player that I realised that I probably should have been excited for it. So I don't know if that's a marketing thing for sort of like the old school Sega fans, that perhaps that is what they want out of a Monkey Ball game, and then they're trying to do this sort of like, online Fortnite Battle Royale sort of that they need to show online modes first over the single player aspect. So yeah, I feel like I probably would have been more excited about it if it was touted as like, oh, brand new, completely new 200 stage Super Monkey Ball experience and multiplayer, online multiplayer. Whereas because it was like online multiplayer as the focus,
I don't
it sort of got a bit lost on me.
Seeing much about the single player modes in terms of
No, not at all.
advertising, right? Not at all. So it's kind of weird because when I've said this before when we talked about the game before or when it was announced, and even when we did that like tier list thing, Monkey Ball is bigger than we think sometimes, because there's a whole bunch of Nintendo fans that really do love Monkey Ball from the GameCube days, especially those two games, the first two. There's like a big following, like cult following of Monkey Ball, and people who were disappointed with the most recent games as well, and the gimmicks and stuff. So I think even for those people, not just the old school Sega fans, but those Nintendo fans that associate Monkey Ball with Nintendo platforms, I think the multiplayer shouldn't be the focus of the advertising. If you want to sell people on the game, just tell them that there's a single player mode with like 200 stages with there's no jump gimmick. There's a new spin dash move that you can use sparingly. And it's more like it's a callback to the original games, perhaps. If they did that, I think people would be more excited, would have been more excited. So I really don't know. But that's a good point. Why did they advertise the multiplayer? Is it because it looks like it could be something like a battle royale game, which is not at all?
Yeah.
Were they
that's
trying
it
to
for
appeal
sure.
to that audience?
I think it's get a new audience in. The old audience knows what they're getting anyway, but hey, put this front and center because it's Nintendo exclusive. We have online games, but we don't have anything like this. Minus, you got like Tetris 99, etc. But
Mhm.
it's not really a traditional battle royale in any sense. Is it? This is not either, but it's way closer, right? So I half wonder if that was Nintendo's idea. Oh, look, we can push this as our big multiplayer game for the year, and Monkey Ball fans will buy it anyway because they know there'll be a single player campaign there. But get the new kids in because they, I presume, weren't really into the last two. It seemed to be a lot of older fans for the most part playing those games, right? So, hey, this is our new in with a new audience. Let's try this. And
The
I don't
other
know how well
sort of
that worked,
concern.
but
Sorry, I was just going to say the other sort of
go ahead.
concern I had was in the name. It's very. I know they have always been very similar as just tagging on a word with monkey or whatever, or banana. Sorry, but
Yeah.
banana rumble. I don't know how much of that is like confusing to people that perhaps aren't following the Monkey Ball series. Like when you've got 3 games on the same system called Blitz, Mania, Rumble, it's sort of difficult to discern which one came first and which one's the newest one.
Mm.
It is a bit, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That's true. Even for us, we were like going through the list, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh,
Which one's
that's
Rumble?
confusing." Why?
Oh, it's the new one.
I think truly, with my limited experience with the first 2 games, and mostly through playing them in Mania, I think this should probably just should have been called Super Monkey Ball 3. Because it's like
Yeah,
the first proper successor of the 2 original games, I
That
think.
would have got me hyped, actually, on the name
Right?
I
alone.
think it would have got a lot of people hyped.
Yeah. And I think it would have been fine with as Super Monkey, unless people were like, "Oh, this is not exactly the same thing," and like, I don't know. You can never please everyone, but I think it would have made more sense to just separate this from the rest of the other games, and like this is a return to form. But again, the advertising should have been different. So if they wouldn't have been so focused on the multiplayer, perhaps, and they clearly wanted to do that for some
So badly.
I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. So let's focus a bit on the spin dash move. Lime, you've been enjoying the spin dash move a lot, right?
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah,
a little bit
indeed.
about that and what possibilities it opens.
I didn't even know that wasn't a thing in the other games. It just seemed like a natural move for a game like that. And so, yeah, like once I learned how to utilize it in a fun way, then it was like the best move in the game. Really, yeah, you can just like one shot things.
To fall, yes. One shot to
Yeah,
death.
yeah, like, and this is something that I did want to talk about because I love one-shotting the things, but at the same time, I'm surprised somehow that I do love it, because sometimes the spin dash makes things a little too easy. Like you just see, like, okay, the goal is right over or over there. I'll just like spin dash over, just like you just did. And in some stages, it's even easier to do that. It's a little too easy, I guess, to skip things. And when I was playing, like to make reference to Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda. One, like my main criticism there was like sure, it's open world and you are free to solve things however you want, but you were a little bit too free, in my opinion. Like you could really just get through the shrines really however you wanted, skipping the puzzles and what have you. Like in some shrines, you could just bring your own bombs and you can use them to bounce over like everything, and then just
BYOB, bring your own bombs.
yeah. And I really didn't like that, because I felt like I didn't have any incentive of actually solving the puzzle, and if I don't have to solve the puzzle, then why would I? It's like, but then some people say like, but you can solve it however you want to. Yeah, sure, but what's the point of a riddle if any answer you give is the correct answer? Like at some point, you want to figure out what the point of the riddle was, what the correct answer
the
is.
real answer was, right? What the intended answer was.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just get any answer and then oh, it was right. Like then riddles are no fun anymore. And
I feel
that's what I felt.
I feel like it's like more of like an emulation of real life. So if in real life you have a problem and you're able to solve that like complicated problem with a workaround, you do it because you just want to get rid of the problem. So it's
yeah, and like a game design is sometimes about saving the player from themselves, because they are going to want to skip things and therefore skip the fun. Like if you could just like fly through everything in a Sonic game, then some people will do that and they will have no fun in the game as a result, just because like you're kind of just driven to, if something gets a little too difficult, just skip it. It feels like you want to do that, but you really don't want to do that because it takes away the fun. Like game design is sometimes about saving the player from themselves to just just skip those things. And
I get your point with this game, particularly. I agree. Not really with Tears of the Kingdom, but that's because I'm a big fan of that game.
But because that's interesting. Like you agree with my point with this.
Yeah,
but
with this,
the
I feel
thing
like
is,
that. Yeah,
the thing is,
I feel like sometimes it happens, but with that game, the sheer amount of challenges and things you have to do, it's refreshing to be able to skip some things sometimes. Maybe not all the time, right? But I get what you're coming from.
Sort of like you on Shenmue 2 line when you had the wait feature and you could skip time and you were like overjoyed with emotion that you could finally skip time in Shenmue 2. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. But that was a very good quality of life update with that, really.
Just
but
like
it's interesting
like
that Casey says that he agrees with the point when it comes to Breath of the Wild, but not here, because I'm kind of
no, it's the opposite. I agree here and not. I mean, it's the same thing, but I don't mind it I don't mind it here either. But I can see that with this being like a series of very short challenges. Like cheesing through the levels, the stages with a spin dash can feel like cheating a little bit sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Although you'll probably agree with me, not all. This is an example of one that you probably can't do that in, right? So there are some that are like a straight line with a series of obstacles. You can just try to find the right angle and just spin dash through everything. But some of them, like this one, for example, I don't know if you can actually just spin dash to the goal.
You
I like
can,
this
I
one as well, the
Maybe.
believe.
roller coaster looking.
Maybe you can. I'm not good
Yeah, I
enough
mean,
for
yeah,
that.
maybe like it could be possible. But the thing is, like, coming from Tears of the Kingdom and having that criticism, I was surprised by myself. Like, why do I not feel the same way here? Like, is this not the same? And if it's not the same, what's the difference? Why am I enjoying finding ways to just one shot the whole stage and like basically skip things when that was my main criticism of Tears of the Kingdom? I don't really have an answer to that yet, but here I love doing it. In that game, I'm like, I feel like I'm being robbed of the puzzle.
Okay.
See,
So it's
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
I'd argue, in a sense, in Tis the Kingdom, it's just an oversight of the freedom they want to give you as a player because that's their game design philosophy. Whereas in Monkey Ball, if you look at the clear timers for the levels and even that skip Casey was doing on that hedge level, they'd already showed off months in advance on their Twitter page, for example. They absolutely know you can cheese these levels, and many of them are designed to be able to do that. And the ones you say can't be broken, you look back on a second playthrough and you're like, oh, actually, there might be a way to cut this little corner or something and shave a little bit, or there might be a way to take this big shortcut. I think that's the beauty of a good Monkey Ball game, personally, is they will know these oversights exist. Don't get me wrong, there's absolutely some where they don't anticipate on this, but there's a bunch of places in this game where I was like, they knew. They had to have known, especially when the part-time's similar to what I've done here for the challenge mode, for example. They knew you could do this. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom, definitely, they knew people would find something ridiculous, but they didn't anticipate the exact way you would do it, if that makes sense. So I'd argue there's way more of an element of, by the game design logic, a lot of the fun of Monkey Ball, say, in similar to games you speedrun and things like that, is finding your own routes through some of these levels. But not only that, versus a shrine which can be like an hour or something, a Monkey Ball level is 30 seconds. It's very likely that on your first time through, you won't see anything. But on the replay, you'll go, oh, there was like that corner I could have clipped off, or oh, I could have spin dashed in this way and found this whole new way to break it open. And that's the way these levels have been designed, to be played over and over again, to master them, to go back through a different way you didn't see before. Whether that's, I did it glitchy, or not glitchy, but I did it in a cheesy way the first time. Now I want to actually see what the level has to offer. It's meant to be replayed over and over, and that's also part of the game design. So I'd say it's not necessarily in all cases intended, but it's certainly part, way more of the game's logic and its DNA than it is in quite a lot of recent games where you see similar things happening where, oh, I just go over the top of this building in Mario Odyssey or something, I don't know, or the Zelda analogy you gave, where never in a million years did they intend that. But in Monkey Ball, they know people are going to crack this thing wide open, and they enjoy leaving stuff like this in, or deliberately leaving these seemingly unintentional looking shortcuts because you get that huge dopamine boost. So I'd say it's way more baked into the DNA of a Monkey Ball game, having played them before, personally, than Lime would say. But I personally agree to disagree. I think the spin dash only makes it a little more accessible to most people to do things like that. Stuff like that's always existed under the hood in these games, and it's part of why I love them personally. It makes them so replayable over and over and over again. Even though the same stages, you're finding new ways through them every time. It's addictive, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd argue
I don't
that
have a problem.
watching other people play the game as well, like watching Casey's footage just on that stage where there was like the discs, I would have just typically just followed the path around, as in, that originally it was intended. But watching Casey actually do a spin dash onto the middle platform, which then, because of the momentum, he bounced onto the next platform, and then there's a fourth platform where the goal is. I possibly would never have tried that. I mean, maybe I would have done at some point if like the aim of the game was to find a 2-second route to the goal. But watching people play the game in itself can sort of influence how you go about tackling a shortcut or seeing something that perhaps I didn't even think was a shortcut in the first place, and then see someone ping off this wall and bounce off this platform to sort of get over actually adds, maybe that is like the competitive element to it. And speedrunners watching each other speedrun a certain stage
Oh yeah,
to discover how each other goes about tackling a stage, and then add these sort of tricks to your
you run.
your run. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely. So my first playthrough is usually the way that you just describe it. So you just go around, do the proper thing, like I was saying, like the intended solution. But then, if you're into going back and replaying it and trying to, because some of the challenges, the times are really really short, like. Clear this stage in under 3 seconds or something like that, or maybe not 3, no, maybe 3. I think there's one of the first ones, like the most simple ones. So you really do have to use the spin dash for that, and you have to it like Viper said, it's baked into the game, into the DNA of the game and the series, even without the spin dash. What I feel people complained about with the jump move was that, first of all, there's a big difference, a fundamental difference. The spin dash is not unlimited. So you have to choose how and when to use it, right?
It's got a cooldown.
And you can actually just, there's a gauge, there's you have to time it correctly to use the right amount of force or power to get to the goal. Because if you go a little bit over with more power than you should have, or just the angle is a little bit different, you'll just fall out completely, because you're gonna you can hit the goal, the ring around the goal, and you'll bounce off. You can hit the platform before the goal a little bit differently, that throws you off. There's more technique and skill involved than with the jump, that you could just like jump and go through everything. I feel like that's probably why people who are like more purists, monkey ball purists, don't mind the spin dash and think it's a good addition. It feels more organic, maybe, than the jump.
Yeah. Like, the thing with the jump as well is you need to have the level design to accommodate it. You can do some interesting things with it, i.e., like higher elevation in the stages, but they almost kind of never did that. It was stuff you could do in the game anyway, through like clipping off these things, or now spin dashing, as we've said. But a lot of the time, it just felt like, oh, I can just jump straight to the end of the stage, as opposed to having to put a little bit of skill into it, if that makes sense. Which I know sounds really, really awful. I sound like I'm being really snobby or whatever. But sometimes it felt like the means to feel like you were cheating these stages was far too easy to obtain versus the reward system. And I felt like the level design never backed up its need in the first place. Whereas there are some levels here which absolutely, even for their intended solution, require these spin dashes. I feel like it's a much more healthy addition to the game than, especially Banana Mania. That's why they put it behind a pretty hefty fee in the shop, from what I remember, was because those levels flat out weren't designed for that button. And sure enough, you could just, if point A was at the start and point B was at the back, you could just jump straight there,
Mm-hmm.
So I think taking it out and going back to basics, at least until you can figure out how to effectively put the jump into these levels, it's probably the best way forward, honestly. I'm not as against it as some people. I think it can work. I just don't think it worked ever in the way that they did it, if that makes sense.
So maybe the jump resulted in what Lime was saying sometimes, right? So people would just
way more what Lime was saying,
than
I think.
What you said there, Viper,
It made the means
made me realize that maybe I do know what the difference is. And I feel like many of the one shots that I did were actually more difficult to pull off than just finishing the stage. And I guess that's what's gratifying.
Yeah.
It
It's
doesn't
really
feel
the
like I just like
risk
skipped the
reward.
challenge. Like it made me feel like I created my own challenge, and I even got
Yes.
past that.
Yes.
So like I don't feel that I missed out on something.
Exactly.
I don't feel like I missed
Yeah.
out on an achievement, if that makes sense.
You're creating your own fun.
Yeah, you
I
make
think I
your own
think the
achievement.
achievement is using the spin dash to go through the level faster, because it's definitely not the easiest. Sometimes it's very rarely, I think, it's the easiest way to complete the level, right? Because it requires
Yeah.
trial and error. So whereas just going through the game takes you through the stage takes you longer, but it's safer and ultimately easier, less challenging, I feel.
Yeah, it's like do you prefer a logical challenge, or do you prefer a almost psychological challenge, a reflex test, etc., that sort of thing? It's
Yeah.
a matter of preference, and you're free and encouraged to play both ways. And as I say, that's part of what makes Monkey Ball so great to me, and how I just play them time and time and time again on end and never get bored, is that freedom it allows you, and not by accident, like some games, fully on purpose.
Yeah. So I think we agree mostly that the spin dash is a welcoming move, or a welcomed
Mostly.
move. Yeah.
Sure.
And also a welcoming move. It's also welcoming to new players, makes it a little bit more accessible, I think. But it actually feels like, with my limited experience with the originals, I think like this feels more like the originals than the ones before it.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. So the reactions from people who are more experienced players make sense. That's what I'm saying here. Okay. And so you can play the single player. I don't think any of us really focused too much on like the in-game currency. You as you unlock these
There's in-game currency.
No, I mean, yeah. So as you clear the stages, you obviously unlock more stages. There are even secret new stages after you beat the game. Spoilers. But as you complete challenges, like if
Viper,
you
just got spoiled.
if you clear the stages in under a certain time, if you get a certain amount of bananas, if you get the gold bananas, stuff like that, that gives you points that you can use in the in-game shop to buy decorative, like costumes for II, exactly. New characters as well, right? No microtransactions, by the way. Jamie, good point in chat, was saying, just made you think of microtransactions for a second there. There are no microtransactions. There is paid DLC, but there are no microtransactions. But you can unlock special costumes, special like characters as well from the series. And there's also there are seasons for the multiplayer mode, which are like weeks, and each week is a season, I believe. And as you play more online, you get points as well, or at least no. If you don't play with friends, that's it. If you play with friends, you get nothing. But if you don't play with friends, if you play with random people, you get points and you unlock special items as well. But it's purely aesthetic and doesn't really affect the gameplay.
And I don't know if you guys have delved into it, but there's also a tree that you can grow for points.
Oh yeah. I tried that.
Yeah.
I didn't get
So
that.
if you've got
No.
if you've got
You have to
like
finish the
way
game,
too
I
many
think.
points, and maybe, I don't know, maybe there's nothing that takes your fancy in the store, you can
If you
sort
finish
of
the story,
invest
you got the
them
tree.
into a tree.
Yeah.
That's essentially a glorified leaderboard for point spending, but visually the tree keeps getting bigger, and I'm assuming at some point, I've not got there yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be a wealth of bananas growing from the branches there.
It's
Jamie-
literally like the. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
Go
No,
ahead.
sorry. I was just saying. Same. Jamie said. So playing with friends gets you nothing. I guess there's no need for friends then.
Just the satisfaction of
I'm
meeting
happy you
said
finally
friends.
learned.
Lime with the harsh truth. I just wanted to mention Gum was also talking about this. I've only played a little bit of various Monkey Ball titles, but always found the game endearing. It is also fabulously frustrating. I want to go zoom with whimsy and abandon, but it does take a lot more patience and focus. I breaking the sound barrier with me at the wheel. Yeah,
It's kind of
that's
like
nice.
one of those old labyrinth games where you can go fast if you want, but then your marble's going to fall off the track. You sort of got to take your time,
Yeah.
wait for the right moment to jump over the obstacle or bridge or something.
I feel like what I've learned these past few weeks of playing this game and watching Lime play as well, like those videos that we mentioned before, is that it's okay to fall. It's okay to try and fail. Because I
In
used
my
to get
videos, you never see me fall.
no, exactly.
So-
But to be
You
this
show.
First try.
to be this good, this good takes ages of falling out. All the puns intended.
Yeah, but I must like for some of them, I must have tried like 50 times or something, or even more to get that shot. Sometimes it's really just luck, but I knew that it was gonna work, but not exactly how. But then one run it just worked, and I was like, "Yep, record,
Easy.
save, replay, pretend
First
like I did it
try,
on purpose."
yes, for sure. First try. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the multiplayer then. So we obviously like the single player a lot. And I think we already established that we don't really get the push for the multiplayer in the advertising, right? But it's a thing. So they really wanted people to know that you could play up to against up to 16 players at a time, which made us a little bit concerned at the time, considering it's a Switch game. And Nintendo Online is usually not the best, not the greatest historically, but you can have some multiplayer fun. You can play the adventure mode with friends, which I haven't tried. I forgot about that on
I
Monday.
didn't know about that.
We should have tried
sounds
that.
fun.
Yeah, maybe.
Viper.
Ooh, Viper has tried it by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just disappointed in Casey.
Okay.
Why?
Because I forgot about it.
Oh,
I don't even
Okay,
really
okay,
understand
okay.
how it works. Do all say if we did play it together, all four of us, do we all tackle the stage at the same time, or
It's
take
probably just
turns?
2-player, isn't it? I think so. Are we
don't
missing
know.
out on
Like,
something?
previous-
Is it up to 16 players as well? Playing the same stage?
I
trying
don't
to
think so.
if you can bump into each other, that's chaos.
Ooh,
Exactly.
yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
that is where the game shines. We like the single player aspect of it.
Maybe
Maybe
we
we
need
should
to
have
try
played
that.
the single player aspect of the game, but multiplayer.
Yeah, maybe. So there's the adventure mode that
You missed the trick.
we play in single player. You can actually play that in the multiplayer because it's a little bit confusing the way the menus are arranged. We talked about this on Monday as well. So when you get to the main menu of the game, you can pick single player and online playing. No, a single player, a local play, online play.
But
And
then there's a
then online
fourth
chat.
option as well, right?
Sorry.
And then online chat, I saw as
Yeah.
well that I was confused about.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
No,
So
local
if-
chat. It was local chat.
local,
That's why I was
local.
confused about it because
Okay.
what local?
So probably with more than one system on the same place, maybe
Yeah,
playing like yeah.
Being in
assume
different
so.
rooms?
One split screen, one multiple switches.
Probably.
Two
But
people.
we
one split
focused on coming this summer. Yeah, that but like reversed.
So those are the three there. So you've got your single player on the far left, and then it goes, I think it said local multiplayer, online multiplayer, and then local communication or something.
Okay. I think local communication is communication between different switches. I assume.
Like in the same...
Like multiple switches on the same room
nearby
or in the same room or something. Jim's camera doesn't really like focusing.
Okay, that's what. So it's okay. So what you're saying is a difference between split screen multiplayer and multiple switch multiplayer.
Exactly,
basically.
And you probably can play up
Yes,
to 6
download
people
play
together or something.
That makes sense.
I don't know if
so everyone's got their own screen
that's
rather
a
than
3DS
like split down the middle.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is there
yeah, but
download
it's like
play?
that kind of idea, right?
Oh yeah, but you each have to have your own game, like cartridge or game.
Yeah, but you could also do it multi-card on those as well. It's just an analogy.
Yeah. I get
Imagine 16 players in split screen.
Everyone
in the same room.
Yeah. But
for now we'll have to do with 8-player virtual racing.
Virtual racing is pretty awesome Switch game, by the way. Yeah. Underrated, I think. But so multiplayer, what we've tried were the battle modes, which are 5, if I'm not mistaken. There's footage of that as well. Although not the footage we of us playing, just me playing. No, because that wasn't that. I could show that, but it would be with all the overlays and everything in the chat. So I think this is better for this. Yes,
runs surprisingly smooth. I'm impressed.
Yeah, but you can tell actually after watching back the footage of us playing in this as well, you can tell that the frame rate is not exactly the same as with the single player mode, right? It's surprisingly smooth, as you were saying, Jim, but it's definitely not exactly the same. You can tell there's a difference. I don't think it's lag. It's more of like a frame rate thing.
Also, like there's obviously the graphics aren't as smooth either. Polished. I guess I don't know what the right word is. It's a bit,
maybe
toned down slightly.
Lower poly or something.
Maybe
low poly, yeah, that kind of thing.
So there's race, which is this, and I'm great at it, obviously. There's everyone's favorite Gate Rush. Can't remember.
Yeah, right. Gold Rush or something.
Gold Rush,
Gold Rush, which we loved. Chaotic, very short. There's one that I didn't record here, which is the bomb. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not. What's the pun? It's a pun.
Oh, baboom.
Baboom, exactly. It's baboom. Baboom. The bomb one, which we agreed that is very, very short. The rounds are really, really short. Too short.
Too short for 4 people, maybe.
Even 16. But even 16, I mean, 16, I understand, right? We talked about this, but for like smaller groups, they should have made the rounds a little bit longer.
So we have Banana Hunt, Baboom, Gold Rush, and Robot Smash.
Exactly. Those are the ones.
Banana Hunt?
Is it really only 4?
Banana Hunt is the next one. No, Gold Rush.
Does that get as many bananas?
Race Slime. You missed Race.
Wasn't that the Banana Hunt?
No. Race is just its own thing. Banana Hunt is where you have to get bananas.
Then this is not a complete list that I'm looking at.
It's 5 modes. So I think you said 4.
That's that mode.
Yeah,
it's the one with the banana cloud, the gold cloud that spits out bananas as well. Right? Remember that? There's footage incoming.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the Banana Hunt. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I absolutely forgot about that.
It's the hunt for bananas. Yeah.
Stop it. You're making me look dumb.
It's Robot Smash as well.
Yeah, this is
this one was good.
The one. This was good.
This one's quite chaotic.
It's a bit chaotic, yeah. Especially, I don't really. It's hard to get which robots you should go for. This for me was a little bit like hard to
Yeah,
get
I didn't
that.
understand either. I
The
think it's like a
logic of
forced
it,
element
maybe.
to it. So like the harder you hit, the more points you get. I think.
Yeah, this
Or
is
it
this
destroys
is
you,
one
I
that
think.
Something about edge
uses the spin
speed and
dash.
location of your hit
Yeah.
gives
Right.
you more
Mhm.
points.
Yeah.
It's like a headshot is worth more.
And so
You got to do a load of big hits.
Hmm.
and this and Goal Rush, I think, are the ones that are team based. I believe the other ones are
Right.
single
Yeah.
player
Split
sort
into
of.
red and blue. Yeah.
Yeah, you always are split into teams, into two teams, red and blue, but it's actually sun and moon. Team Sun and Team Moon. The red is Team Sun.
Didn't even notice that, but yeah.
Yeah. And as you play multiplayer, if you're playing with friends, if you're hosting the game, you can choose to have the game assign people randomly into one of the two teams, or you can actually choose the teams, which we did at some point, which players are in which team. Yeah, this is Banana Hunt,
Banana
by
Hunt.
the way. Yeah. So I think what we already said about multiplayer sums up the experience. It's fun, and it can actually sometimes be really fun. But I was hoping for more, to be honest, personally.
I mean, golf sounds lots of fun. You've been talking about golf thing.
Monkey
That-
Target, I think
Monkey
it's a
Golf.
classic. And there are so many. And I say it's a classic, and I'm not the biggest of Monkey Ball fans, but I know these mini games. Like having
what do you do there?
Monkey Target,
How do you even
what is
explain
that?
it?
you have to shoot your monkey ball, your monkey, at a certain speed and try to get it over the water.
Have you ever played Pilot Wings, Lime? You know,
Oh.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So basically-
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so
I see
basically,
what
there's
you
like
mean
a
now.
big hill that you go
Mhm.
down, and obviously, the faster you go, the more distance you get. And then at
Mhm.
some point, you sort of open your ball, and they turn into wings.
Yeah,
And then it's sort of
and then
Pilot
you
Wing
land on
style,
like,
where you sort of have to
it's
sort
like
of
to
land in
target
the middle
things,
of
and the more in the
yeah,
middle you
exactly.
land, the more points you get, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a
you've also-
perfect explanation.
Yeah.
And
Cool,
way
cool,
more
cool.
than
Yeah,
I
you've got
remembered.
like a wheel of pain kind of thing as well. So it'll pick at the beginning like, oh, everyone gets a score demoter, or everyone has to deal with bombs on the stage or whatever. So there's like a lot of just random things piling onto you, making it more chaotic and difficult. It's more. It's like bigger than Monkey Ball itself. It was like one of the multiplayer experiences supposedly when the game launched. Can't relate to that one, but did play it again the other day, and gotta say, had quite a bit more fun with it and Banana Mania's multiplayer modes than I actually did with these ones.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the multiplayer aspect of this game is like 16 players simultaneously playing, whereas like those modes were more like you take turns. So perhaps
like a single controller experience.
exactly.
Pass around the
So perhaps
controller.
the sort of like the chaotic aspect was what they wanted out of this game. Potentially why it's called Rumble, I don't know. Well, it would have been fun to play those games, considering this is the first Monkey Ball game that's ever had an online element to it. To be able to play those classic modes online with friends would be cool, because I know like online golf is quite fun. There's like golf with friends or whatever was massive on
Yeah.
Twitch for quite a while. So imagine Super Monkey Ball golf with friends would be pretty cool.
I think they could have somehow, I don't know why or how, but I think they could have adapted some of these classic mini games. I'm not saying put the exact original mini game in this and try to like have 16 people playing together. But try to make some sort of variation of it, and even maybe a mode where you could have like very short versions of these classic mini games, and at the end, more like a Super Mario Party experience, right? You have a few rounds of each of these mini games, and at the end you tally up the points, and whichever team or player has the most points wins. Maybe something like
Well,
that.
this Gold Rush
Yeah.
is very much a very classic feeling
Yeah.
party mode. Out of the options that are available, this is probably the one that feels most akin to the party games of old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think it's the most fun out of all of them. Race is simple. Race is also, you can't really go wrong with race. But one thing that I also noticed is there is a surprising, I would say, limited amount of stages for these modes. I would have liked to see more variety in terms of stages as well. But although I guess it makes a bit of sense because they're tailored to multiplayer. But it's there's some modes have one stage, others have two, like Gold Rush. Race, I think there's 3 or 4, but maybe more stage. I don't know if there's plans for more. Could be.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm sort of surprised they haven't utilized all 10 of the worlds. Just for Luke's alone.
Yeah. So I think there's potential for some DLC along the way, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Yeah, it's Super Monkey Ball. It's and especially unless there's like a Switch 2 version planned for the future, or
March
a PC
31st,
version, or a PC version like Viper's telling us that's apparently supposedly coming. Unless that's the case, I don't see them supporting this game with more DLC apart from the characters that we've already learned are coming. Right?
What if the Switch 2 is backwards compatible and there is no like Switch 2 version? You can just play the Switch version on the Switch 2.
But money.
It's not what I'm asking. I'm asking would you all be fine with that?
But corporate greed.
But I'm not asking about them. I'm asking, would y'all be fine with that? Would you
for sure
accept that?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Just give me PC and I'm fine.
Yeah. And then you could go with DLC and I got modes and stuff for both.
It would be nice to see them supporting this game. And actually I would be fine. This is probably a controversial take, but I would be fine with the single player staying as it is right now, and them working a little bit more on the multiplayer aspect, because that's what they were pushing for. And I think it's the most lackluster of the modes and of the options of play here. Although obviously, like a whole new set of single player stages would be awesome. But I don't know. Maybe I feel like it needs more work. It needs more, especially since they were like, this is the first online multiplayer experience with Super Monkey Ball that you've ever had, and it's going to be amazing, up to 16 players simultaneously. And it's lacking, in my opinion. So I want more.
I mean, like it's an okay to good showing. Like I don't think it's as bad as we've slated it to be here. In fairness, I think it is good. You just need players coming in and out for the actual online and the incentive to keep playing, which we didn't get because it didn't give us any currency. But the thing is, it's a good multiplayer in a series that's famous for its multiplayer being as good as the single player, right? Monkey Ball multiplayer is often better remembered than the actual game. So to have it just be okay, especially when, as we've mentioned, it's so prominently the focus this time round. It's the most glaring it's been. It's not even the worst multiplayer I think the series has had overall. There's definitely been worse, but never has that been the focus of the game, such as it has been here, which is why we're a little bit more disappointed than perhaps we would be if this was just, oh, by the way, there's this as well, but this is the main thing you want to look at.
I mean, the multiplayer was so much fun. Like, if I have someone
Yeah.
over, I'm definitely gonna suggest, like, hey, would you like to play some Super Monkey Ball? But yeah, it's a good point that if they were marketing it like that, and like there aren't like many, like there isn't that much. So
Yeah. I think the lack of variety is the biggest issue here. Because I don't know. It's is it enough for like to do what you just said, to convince a bunch of people to just sit around and play? There are like four stages.
I mean,
to
one
race
time,
in.
yeah. But
One
if we
time,
were
but for
to
how
continue,
long?
yeah, exactly.
for how
That's my
long?
point as well. Like, if we were to continue doing that, like the other evenings, then yeah, maybe then it would probably need a little bit more.
I think we covered everything in terms of the battle mode, multiplayer battle modes, in an hour and a half to 2 hours on Monday. We didn't try the adventure mode, which I'm assuming is just like the single player stages with more players together, like probably just 2. I don't know. But in terms of battle mode, which is this, and the one that actually lets 16 players play together, that's it. And we saw it all. All the stages. We played multiple times, sometimes without bots, a few times with all the bots for chaos.
CPU2.
So much chaos.
CPU2 is the worst. Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think the big takeaway here is work on the multiplayer, Sega. RGG. Do it. Don't be cowards.
I am a little bit surprised that you couldn't set difficulty. Like there are
For
some
the
modes where that would
CPUs.
matter. Like in a
Yeah.
race, for example, if you want to have CPUs and like it would matter there, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, CPU2 sort of did tend to finish last, or in the lower end of a lot of the races. So whether there is like some sort of pre-designed difficulty, that some of the CPUs are better, I don't know, or if it was just random potluck sort of thing that we experienced. But yeah,
And if you come if you come under CPU2, it's you're really the worst player in the world. I did a couple of times.
Maybe there's a rubber banding or something that adapts to how you play.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But still, there's
one thing actually. Now that you say that, Lime, that we noticed when we were playing that was quite cool element was the race in Monkey Race or whatever. The person that's in front sort of has the most difficult aspect of the stage, right? And then
yeah.
behind,
That was so
sort of
smart.
stage sort of transformed to make it easy for them to catch up.
Yeah.
So that is that
That's
worked really well.
such a smart thing that basically replaces the mechanic of the weapons in Mario Kart. Like that's basically what that does.
Or
So,
giving like
that's-
a bad player a boost, at least like it's the stage that's designed to make people catch up rather than like you say, like a rubber banding effect where the worst players, the computer's pushing them forward to catch up.
Yeah.
So it's not very skill based. It's still skill based, but the stage adapts to be easier for the players to catch up. I think that's a cool, actually a cool design initiative to get people to catch up.
Yeah, I thought it was a very smart choice.
So again, and I think it's important to like emphasize this, that it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's just short.
Very enjoyable. It was very much fun.
And there's no variety, or not enough variety. So it's very, very good. There are weapons as well, by the way, or power-ups, or whatever they call them.
In the races?
Yeah, so remember the missiles and
you could lay bananas as well.
Each character has its own different power-ups.
Yeah,
Although
I
I
take
think
back
couple
what I
is
said.
common to all of
I
them.
said it replaces the weapons. It then definitely doesn't.
it back,
I just
Lion.
forgot about those.
But it's not really. You don't have as many as in Mario Kart, for example, or All Stars Racing, or whatever it is. Like one of those kart racers. It's just they're more. I think sometimes you have to collect them. Other times, in time, you get them automatically as well. I noticed that, especially if you're trailing behind. I noticed that, as I often do when playing these games. I tended to get a few of these bonuses automatically without collecting the gift boxes, whatever, right? But again, it's nice, it's good, just a little bit short, I think. So more content would be very much appreciated alongside the DLC characters that we're getting, which I think could be a good thing to close this conversation about the game. But before that, Jamie asked the question: does this game perform well in handheld mode? For me, yes.
Same.
Have you guys experienced the game in handheld mode?
I was playing it in handheld mode online, didn't I?
Yeah, I
Okay.
only played in
I'm not
handheld
noticing
mode,
much lag. So.
so it works very well.
I'm a bit of an outcast here.
Yeah, I mostly played it in docked mode, but I've also played in handheld, and it worked fine. No issues whatsoever. I played multiplayer in online multiplayer with random people in handheld mode. Never had any issues whatsoever, but I think that's to be expected. So yeah.
Multiplayer mode I did play in docked mode though, so yeah. But so yeah, I've played both, and both perform as well. So
yeah. But I prefer the Pro controller. My Joy-Cons are like not very good at this point.
and they are
Like,
very small.
even
I
the
did it as
connection,
well.
the connection to the Switch is not working properly, so they randomly disconnect sometimes.
Not the best
It's,
game
uh,
for like
Switch to
joystick
any
drift, is it?
Yeah, it's not. My problem isn't the drift itself. Is more like the connection is a little bit loose, I think, on the Joy-Cons. So, but I'm sticking it out till we get the new Switch. So yeah, I'm cheap like
Any
that.
moment now.
Any
I
moment.
wonder when it's gonna be revealed. I
31st
want to
of March.
know. Yeah. They did say at the end of the fiscal year, which is at the end of March. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's when we're getting the announcement for more content for Super Monkey Ball.
Actually,
Banana
not
Rumble.
And Axel.
actually not at the end, but by the end. So
By
like
the
it
end.
could come earlier.
Yeah.
But
But
Wasn't it
it's-
just they said they would say by the end?
yeah.
Yeah, it's the announcement. So they're going to
Yeah,
announce
they would.
the
Exactly.
console.
They would reveal it by the end of the fiscal
Right.
year.
And
Announcing an announcement.
launch title,
Yeah.
obviously, Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble Deluxe Edition or something. Deluxe.
1.5 HD.
I
remake.
just think that it's going to be backwards compatible, and that
Banana Rumble Mania Blitz HD.
Ooh.
More
That's a name I can
confusion,
get behind.
please. More confusion. So DLC characters, those we already know are coming. And actually, if people go to the website, to the official Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble website, there's a list of characters that we all already know are coming. There's a Sega Pass that people can buy. And 4 of the 6 characters in the Sega Pass are Sonic characters. Yay. We've talked about this on the show before. So we have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, like classic Amy. There's Beat, already announced, and what's
Axel
the other one?
from Crazy
And
Taxi.
Axel from Crazy Taxi, yeah.
Who's bringing the jump move back?
Axel from Crazy Taxi, right, Lime?
Yeah, how could you
Axel.
forget Axel?
Axel.
KC,
Axel's like
come
our
on, it's
biggest-
Axel.
Our
from
biggest
Crazy
Axel
Taxi.
fan from Crazy Taxi. There's also there are also some Sega items, like outfits, like Shadow Knights. Sorry, which one?
Shinobi was a
Shinobi,
newsletter.
yes, the one that I've
Yep.
been using. That's if you subscribe to the newsletter. I think Majima has been announced as well. It's not yet available, right? I don't think
No, I
the
think they're
costumes
filtering it out.
Personally,
they
like
will
the
be
DLC.
released. Yeah, because I have the Sega Pass. I bought that, but I only have Sonic, so I don't have any. The Shinobi costume comes from subscribing to the newsletter. So yeah, I think the
Question
costumes will
for
be
you,
available.
Casey, because you own the Sonic character.
Yeah.
Does that change the cutscenes at all? You know, in the single player story mode? No. Okay.
No, it's the same thing. So the story, there's a story as well.
Right.
Mind-blowing story. Yes.
Oh yeah.
There's a story.
Changed
There's
my
a very
perspective.
cute story with like cute cutscenes. Like Gum was saying, the cutscenes are very cute.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. And it's like very Japanese.
Very
Even the
Japanese,
dialogue.
Well, there's one
right?
thing that I noticed that I couldn't well, not unsee, but unhear as soon as I discovered it. But the new character, that Palette, every time she spoke, I thought she was swearing because it's like F you, F you, F you, F yeah, F yeah, F yeah. That's just how it sounded like. It's like, fuck you, fuck you,
Really?
fuck you. And as soon as I was like, I could not unhear it.
No, nobody's gonna be able to unhear that. Everybody's
Listen
gonna be
out for it.
laughing.
Next
and
time you
playing,
do
you
the
know.
Okay,
cutscene,
I'm
when
gonna
Palette
play it
starts talking.
right after we
It's
finish
a
this. I'm
combination
gonna
of F you
play that.
or F yeah, depending on how the intonation.
Okay, so not so cutesy, perhaps. Maybe I was wrong.
Depends
Dark
if it was
secret.
intended that way, but
I'm gonna
that's just
add
how
that as
monkey
a
talk.
sound command on my
That's just
stream.
monkey talk.
F you.
Yeah. It's a different language, Jim.
Right.
Can't take it
That'll be
like
why then.
literally.
It's not even our language.
It is. If you.
It is.
It's like
Let's see.
Trekkie language, whatever that's called.
Like Klingon.
Klingon, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because that's how
So-
Klingon
so yeah,
sounds.
So. And just one more thing in terms of characters. So you can choose from classic Monkey Ball characters. There's also DLC, but each character has different stats as well. So there are slower characters, faster characters, and so I think Mimi is the like the easy mode character, I believe, because she's slower.
There's a baby as well. It's supposed to be very easy to control.
There's a baby called
Say it with me.
Baby.
I don't.
Okay.
Oh,
Baby.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I didn't know
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah. I'm getting so
Everyone's favorite monkey.
I'm
AI.
I'm getting like ideas for our yearly quiz. Yeah. The most difficult question, like 500-point question. What's the name of the most recent Monkey
Baby.
Ball game?
Yeah.
Super Monkey Ball Banana. Yeah. No one knows. All the bananas. What an original name for a baby. Yeah. Super Monkey Ball Kiwami, says Hydro Loach. Yes, Hydro. Yeah, that's it. We have Majima coming. A Majima outfit coming.
A game
Okay.
was released this year with the name Rumble. What was it? Oh, Banana Rumble. No, Sonic Rumble.
What, is that what that Toy Party thing's called, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sonic Rumble.
Yes.
All the rumbles in one year.
Again, more confusion. Excellent, Sega. Well done. That's it. Anyway, so
Can you play as II? Because that would
maybe
be- You
DLC
can play as Sonic and Banana Rumble and II and Sonic Rumble.
and Beat and Axel and Shinobi, all the
Axel.
synergy. Axel, and Axel as well. The other Axel from Streets of Rage.
Blaze.
That's a great idea, Jamie, by the way.
Blaze.
Have the original Monkey Ball joystick thing and the Like a Dragon games.
Oh, yeah. So, last words about this, about Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. I would recommend. Wait, let's focus on Jim. Do that again, please. There we go. That's how you do it. You're missing out if you're just listening to the audio version of this.
He's
by the way.
playing with his banana.
Oh my God! He peeled the banana. You've been planning this. You were going to peel the banana at the end
Actually,
all this time.
in the last 5 seconds.
That was very surprising that he would peel the banana and eat
What a
it.
twist.
What
Yeah.
a twist. Plot twist.
I'm actually rather hungry as well. I'm not eating yet.
I have snack envy now, says Gum. This stream has gotten R-rated, says Jamie. Yeah.
Not intended.
Or maybe. Who knows?
Yo, give me the banana. Give me.
I don't think we need to resort to that, guys.
So I would recommend people buy this game. That was going to be my last question. I'm going to answer it right now. I would recommend this. As someone who isn't the biggest of Monkey Ball fans, I'm having a great time with this, especially the single player. So I would recommend. 10 out of 10 would buy again. What about you guys?
Yeah,
for potassium.
I agree. Like as I
done.
said, like first of all, I would recommend it, and second of all, like the next time I have someone over, I'm definitely gonna ask, "Hey, do you want to play Super Monkey Ball?"
Hey, let's go bananas together.
Let's go bananas. Well, do you want to go bananas, or do you want to play Monkey Ball?
Let's get ready to Banana Rumble. As you
Wow.
do.
That just that just got in a completely new context for me. when you
Yeah,
say it like
Viper.
that. Yeah.
Viper, yes. Yes, Viper, yes. You can go first because James is
Because
eating
Jim's
the
got to finish his
banana.
mouthful.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely buy this game, 100%. We gave the multiplayer a bit of a slating, but it is still a really good showing. Just maybe not as strong as Banana Mania. It's always the risk you're going to run when you make such a huge game, is you've then got to make the smaller game next to it. So I think it's a little unfair, some of the words we've said. It's still good, but it does struggle in areas that other games in the series don't. So all the more reason to buy it, and many others as well. I mean, all the others are multi-platform, so that might be a bit more of an incentive for you to play those ones right now, etc. But Banana Rumble, absolutely the best game in the series since the early 2000s, really. It's a huge return to form. I love Banana Blitz HD and Banana... I'm actually getting confused now myself. We've
So
we've
Mania
manifested this.
and Blitz HD before it.
Yeah. I loved those games, but I also got the criticism which they quite heavily received. Whereas this one, everyone's loving it, and I'm loving it too. I'm happy we're all on the same page for once, because best game in the series, as Jim says, arguably ever. I know for some people you can't beat those nostalgic memories. I'm still tied as to where I feel on it, but it's definitely between first and second. It's fantastic. Go and get it. It's a pretty decent price if you get it physical. It will obviously go down by like Black Friday, as all Sega games do. Like we mentioned, there's the possibility of other console ports maybe next year, if we want to believe the eShop and some screenshots, basically. So you can give it some time. It'll pop up on your favorite platform, etc. But no matter what, play it. If you got access on a Switch, I'd honestly recommend going out of your way to play it there. Even if it's not your favorite, it's that worth getting into right away, because you won't regret it for sure. Fantastic game. Give it a go.
Yep. Well said.
Exactly
Jim?
where I feel. I set on it, yeah, I think.
Post it off now.
It's definitely been. I mean, it could be just on me, the fact that all the other Monkey Ball games of the series haven't really done it as much as the original or the deluxe version on the Xbox for me. But this one definitely highly recommended.
Yeah. I this is my favorite in the series for sure, hands down. I like Banana Mania as well. But definitely, I feel like this is more fun. I like it without having the nostalgia for it, like people who played the originals had. But this feels better. This feels more fun. Could be like we said, we already mentioned this. Like everyone's enjoying it together, so that's also helping to get me more excited as well. But I remember there was a lot of hype around Mania when it came out, and there was like Danny got us all some codes and stuff, I believe, for Mania.
Everyone got codes for that game.
Yeah, shout out to Danny Russell. Uh, shout out to Sega Forever as well, wherever that is right now, or isn't.
Mania
Yes.
definitely got a good following, and especially on the speedrunning scene. Like I've been watching some of Dr. Scottnick's recent videos as well, where it's like people are still playing that game. And yeah, I think you're right, Casey. I think that was a beloved title in the series, even though it didn't really do anything for me as such. But again, that could just be on me.
No, but I
don't
really
play it.
do feel, for me, this is the better game. This is more fun to play, and I love the spin dash move. Yeah, and I like the multiplayer. Don't get me wrong. Don't leave this. Don't close the video or your podcast player thinking the multiplayer sucks. No, that's not the case at all.
Oh, that's that.
I just want more. Just wanted more. That's my criticism here. More.
Yeah, and that's a token of appreciation that we want more.
Yeah. More, please. Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
So do get Monkey Ball, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble if you can, and give it a try, and let us know your thoughts as well. So that's it for this week's episode. I think I enjoyed myself talking about this game. I really feel the need to just get out of here and just go grab my Switch and play a little bit more of the game.
And I got more trick shots to show you.
Oh, beauty shots, you mean?
Yeah.
Beauty shots. you
Beauty
mean.
shots, yes.
You need to compile all these videos, Lime, and make them accessible to the listeners so you can experience
Next
it as well.
time, actually, you should have done that before, because I wanted to show proper good footage of people playing the game instead of my own footage. So next time
I
you'll
mean,
send me that.
you have in the Discord like three of them at least.
You should have more. Should have sent me more, and we could have compiled them.
I'm
And
sorry,
that's
it's all my
again-
fault.
That's again my criticism.
I am my apologies.
It's a token of appreciation, because I want more. In your own words.
It's because he's clearing them so quickly, because he's so good at the game. It feels like you haven't seen much of his footage because he's he's sent.
It's so
They're only
quick.
3 seconds long, aren't they? So
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. The beauty of the beauty shots.
the quickness of them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me. So very briefly, would you guys like to plug anything that you're working on currently? Lime? I know you're playing Sonic and the Black Knight.
Yeah. Just finished Sonic and the Secret Rings, 100% of that, and just begun Sonic and the Black Knight. Just played it through. It's a surprisingly short game. I beat the game in a stream, like for 5 hours. So now
The game or the game? The actual final end?
not completed the game, but finished the game. Like till
Plot twists and all?
yes.
Okay.
Like story is done. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Like
okay.
that's what I mean. People looked a little confused. So like that's what I mean by finishing the game. Like you get through the story, but then
Spoiler,
completing the
Supersonic
game.
ending.
Sorry, yeah, Supersonic.
Yeah, I think he means that, because there's
Yes.
he got the
Yes,
first run
I'm
of the
including
credits,
that.
and then
Yes,
okay.
I am including all of that in those 5 hours. Yes.
Okay.
So now starts the 100%ing of the game, and I have no idea what that's gonna take yet. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Probably a lot of time.
that's coming from Lime that's finished Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 in about a week. So
Yeah. That's the most
if Black
surprising
Knight
of it all.
was, surprising. That is surprising.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's fun.
Awesome. Viper, what about you?
So I've been trying to get back into doing a bit more podcasting recently, getting back to my radio shows. I've been really inactive with it for the past few weeks. So of course I'm binning off tomorrow night's show. I'm instead going to stream on Twitch. I don't know what time yet, but I plan on being topical, celebrating the Olympics, getting into Mario and Sonic Tokyo 2020, because I'm never going to get an excuse to play that game again otherwise. So I'll try and do that over the next couple of weeks or so. So that's probably where you can find me. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not really doing much else these days, so it's probably there, or it's on Radio Sega or elsewhere. So come and check it out.
Excellent. I've been meaning to talk about this, but I keep forgetting. Are we getting a Mario and Sonic at the 2024 Olympics? I'm guessing no at this point, right?
They released them a year out, I think, and it's now 24 hours before the Olympics. So I'm going to give a flat no.
I don't know.
At this point.
Shadow drop.
Yeah.
Surprise shadow release.
I don't know.
All of a sudden, from nowhere.
Okay, yeah, but the 2020 game is decent. I think it's good. I would say. Yeah. I had the Tokyo 2020 game itself, the official Olympics game, is good as well. I enjoyed myself playing that.
Never streamed.
Have I streamed that game back in the day?
I think we all bought it for a multiplayer Monday, and then I don't think we ever played it.
Probably. We should do that. I have it on the Xbox? Probably.
Yeah, we all got it on Xbox, I think. I actually rebought it on Steam the other day because I figured it's going to get delisted soon, probably, right?
Okay. Good point. Okay, so that's one of our future multiplayer streams. Anyway, James, SkillJim. What have you been working on? No.
Well, something potentially next week. Speaking about shadow drops, that's been in the works for a year or so. You probably know it as KC. I know I fooled you last time by announcing the announcement of something, but this time this is it. Yeah, so Shenmue fans listening, Shenmue Dojo people, maybe know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, keep your eyes on socials, perhaps, maybe.
Well, if you're watching live, it'll be next week. If you're listening to the podcast, which will be, is that tomorrow actually?
Tomorrow, yeah. So in a few hours, actually. Next week, still. If you're listening on a Monday or Tuesday, it's this week. It's probably happening
if you're listening
already.
2 weeks. It was last week. So.
It was last. That's how.
If you're listening on Monday, just any Monday.
Any Monday.
It's next week.
So timey-wimey stuff. Yeah.
Check your date and
check your dates.
Sort of work it out from what we're saying.
Yeah. Actually. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me for this episode of the SEGA Lounge. Thank you, people listening in on Radio Sega, to people on Twitch as well, YouTube, whatever, and to the podcast listeners. Thank you very much for downloading this. It's nice to be back. Next week, we'll have an interview, which is something like weird coming from us these days, but we'll have a guest, and we're interviewing that person. A Streets of Rage fan. That's it. But we have more roundtables and special episodes coming, including we're working on. I shouldn't say this because it's going to go terribly wrong and not happen at all. We're working on a very, very special quiz. And like Lime's looking at me like, we are. Yes, we are. We've talked about this. We've been talking about this for a long time.
If we have been talking about it, then I think I know what it is. And I thought that basically I'd run out in the sand. I didn't think that was gonna...
it's still in the works. So hopefully in a couple of months we'll have that.
Cool.
And it's going to be really,
is
really
the name
fun.
of the new Monkey Ball game going to be on that quiz?
Probably not, because it's going to be Sonic themed. But
Sonic's in the new Monkey Ball.
Okay. Don't give me ideas. Don't give me evil ideas.
I mean, Sonic is in the game, technically, so...
Yeah. So, okay. So thank you guys for listening. Have a great week. And we'll come back next week, so Be sure to join us then. Bye-bye. Have fun, everyone.
Bye.
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 Thanks for
Bye.
watching/listening. The SEGA Lounge, hosted by me, KC, and part of Radio Sega's network of live shows and podcasts. Theme song and incidental music by OSC. Got any suggestions? Drop me an email to podcast@thesegalounge.com. Find us at the SEGA Lounge on X, Twitter, and Instagram, at thesegalounge.com on Blue Sky, and be sure to check out our Twitch and YouTube channel for live video content. You can find previous episodes of the show by going to thesegalounge.com, on the Terra Player app, and wherever you listen to podcasts. A Mixed On Productions podcast.